Folks, a reporter's job is never easy. Today, against our will, we will be covering the Akaash Singh situation, the updates therein. Morning, folks. Welcome to the Joey Show. I'm Joey Avery. I mentioned the lead story right there. Yes, there is a story we're going to discuss, which I haven't brought up for a couple, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 reasons probably why. Shout out to the 12. A lot of reasons I haven't covered this story yet, but there has been a story burning up the internet. Those of you who are not chronically online don't know what this is. Those of you who do know way too much about it. We are going to cover it from an inside-outside perspective. We're going to talk a little bit of Lane Kiffin. We're going to have some news on the back end. But yeah, let's just get into it. A very interesting story. And now I know if you're watching this on YouTube or I got put into your algorithm, you might be like, yeah, we know. We've seen the 100 million fucking commentary channel videos of people talking about my friend Akaash Singh and his wife. If not, you might be going, who and what? So I'm going to give you some brief background, and then I think the only reason that I want to talk about it, because we don't, this channel is, of course, a comedian doing commentary on the world. It is not a commentary channel about comedians. This channel is not going to turn into me doing what all the channels do, where it's like, fucking Bert Kreischer finally lost it. Some of you know what these channels are. Some of you know what I'm talking about. I'm not saying that there's not value to them. Folks, I've watched them. I will say it. Some comics are open about it. Some are not. A lot of us watch it. It's gossip. It's gossip. You think celebrities don't ever check into TMZ and go, holy shit, why is my own pussy out? It's probably exciting, probably exhilarating, probably a nice little time. So this is not going to turn into a commentary channel. I'm not here to dunk on people who are my friends, who have done nice things for me. But the reason that I want to cover this story, aside from the fact that it's fucking everywhere anyway, is I've gotten to see it from a unique perspective. I've seen it from the perspective of someone who knows the human beings involved, at least Akaash. I've met his wife. And I also am someone who watches some of the nightmare, shit slop that is online. I do. I engage in it sometimes. And so I am a comedian who watches these things. I'm a comedian who's, afraid that whenever my name is actually powerful enough, you end up on one of these. So I kind of get both. I understand the internet brain that brings people to a point, but I also understand the human side of the people involved and what the response was today on Flagrant that immediately became a super highly watched episode. People watched the intro to it, was getting some applause and some commentary across the internet. I saw the KFC, the guy from Barstool, shared their intro video as one of the best podcast promos of all time. I think that's fair. I think that's true. And then I read every single comment of their own fans being upset about it. So let's discuss. And here are my cards that are on the table. I see everything that happens online. I wish I didn't. One day I will see a therapist and I will go to a retreat in a monastery and I will stop watching videos on the internet and I will read texts in fucking Japanese, dude. I'm going to get so clean of all this that I'm only going to read in characters. Okay? Sure. But until then, I do know what's happening. I'm plugged. I'm plugged in. I'm butt plugged in. On the other hand, I also am close with the entire Flagrant crew. I'm talking Schultz brought me into it. I've known him forever. I'm close with Akaash. I'm very close with Mark. Close with Al. I'm close with Miles. Like the whole fucking team. I probably know the maid who fucking replaces the toilet paper. In fact, I have an unreleased Flagrant episode that I would really love to come out, but it's a little gummed up in the works because people have been shitting on Akaash and his wife. So if you've made it this far but you don't know what's happening, I'm going to give you just a brief overview and get you read in on the situation. Famous comedy podcast. It's known as Flagrant. Andrew Schultz, Akaash Singh, Mark Gagnon, Alex Media, the boys. Akaash is married to a lady named Jasleen. I've met her in passing. I've known her briefly. She has a TikTok persona and now a podcast. The persona and podcast are a little brash, a little rough around the edges, branded in the feminine energy, but in a certain type of it that's like, TLDR, it's basically like, yeah, he better work and fucking bring me stuff because I'm the shit, but if I make my own money, it's mine and whatever, and I'm a princess and I deserve it, and it is, and people don't like this word, and I'm not calling anyone in this a word, but I would brand the style of content as cunty. It is. That's what she's going for. She's going for a bit of a cunty mood. It's like, stop, you're being annoying. Get out of my closet. Move on. So there's a treasure trove of all this cunty content. It's out there. It lives there. It exists. Now, years ago, Akaash had kind of a nice big viral moment where Andrew and Akaash had these gentlemen on from a podcast called Fresh and Fit. Are these guys gentlemen? Probably not. Red pill guys. They're like, your woman's a whore. Every woman's a whore. You need 7 women, 9 Bugattis, some crypto. You need to go to the gym, and your dick better be hard, but only for, I don't know, money, protein. I don't listen to the content. Cards on the table. Well, he had a bit of a moment with these gentlemen, and he said, hey, basically, you guys are fucking childish. You're apes. You're pigs. You're early on in the saga of man. You think you're evolved, but you're fucking idiots, basically. And you say you won't date women of your kind. Well, fucking, I'm married to a virgin Indian woman. We have like a beautiful, pure relationship. You wouldn't understand shit about it. You're just out here fucking these hoes in the streets. And it went viral. And it went viral in a good way. People were kind of like, yeah, fuck these guys. Thank you, Akaash. But he was kind of hanging his hat on this, like, me and my wife are pure. You guys don't know shit. You don't know shit about women. I know shit about women in a different way, in a better way, and you guys are fucking idiots. Well, unfortunately for him, those enemies stayed around, as they do. They stay in the gym. They stay bricked up. They stay mad at women, but they stay making money, doing shit, making moves. And you know what? They came back with a dunk because they found the big old beautiful basketball of cunty content. And they found things that alluded to sluttier behavior. She said she was popping her pussy in white boy frat houses. She talked about how, he got to 2 million followers and finally then he could talk to her because, bitch, you ain't shit until you're at 2 million followers. There were all these clips over and over. They're digging up clips from like their engagement and re-engagement and noticing that like she like kind of ducks whenever he tries to kiss her publicly. The mounting evidence was damning. It was positively damning. It was everywhere, folks. I didn't want to talk about it. I know these people, and and I like them. I don't know her that well. I'm gonna be honest. I don't really know her, but I like Akaash. He's a nice guy. He's a good guy. And I'm getting fucking texts. Me, little old me. Joseph William Avery. Joey Avery of the Joey Show podcast. Yeah, me. I'm getting fucking texts. I'm getting texts. What does his phone look like? I shudder to think. It is everywhere on the internet. The story of this like montage. Because it taps into a cultural feeling which people don't like, which is you're following some relationship gossip. I apologize, folks. I'm drinking a bubbly water. It's not the right choice here, okay? It's fucking midnight, by the way, guys. I've had a very busy week. I just got off stage in Portland. I'm here in my fucking hotel room in Portland. I'm giving you the business. I'm giving you the hard-hitting, important facts in the news, and I'm doing it late at night, and I'm having a bubble water. So I apologize for the burp, but I'm working hard. So he's getting shit on from all across the internet because as far as I can understand it, the internet is basically locked into a few different things. One, blood feud, with a lot of different things going on. You have a lot of dudes, but you can't limit this to manosphere, guys, but you have a lot of dudes being like, dude, your wife's a fucking bitch. That's what people are saying. That's what I'm saying. You have people locked into relationship drama, podcast drama, comedian drama, female content creator cringe drama, and then this general kind of online thing where it's like, dude, you're a cuck is what people are saying, because on a podcast that she's on, she basically says in front of him, oh, I want to have an orgy with these friends, and I bet your friend's dick is so big and all this. You can watch. I'm not pulling the clips. I'm not doing the whole thing. I've seen it a million times. I've seen it enough. I've been asked about it. Everyone's asking everyone. People want to know. It's an interesting situation. And it gets to the point, it's so bad online that people are like, I feel bad for Akaash. Now, all the time this is going on, he happens to be gone in India, okay? India, they go to Dubai. It's a family trip. It's him and her. It's the moms. They're doing a whole thing. Flagrant finally comes out today and responds. They bring him on. They bring her on. They do a really funny Jerry Springer-style opening, which I thought was hilarious, and then they get into it. Now, people in the comments do not feel like they got into it. They feel like they were gaslit because what ended up being portrayed was like, first of all, I think a lot of people probably didn't make it through the whole thing because I thought it took a long time to get to anything other than, hey, we're just going to make light and have fun of this. But this is the complaint that people have with the podcast. They had President Trump on and they were making light and having fun. And honestly, that got way more positive comments than Akaash's wife. Well, holy shit, dude. That's the world we live in, where people were like, yeah, you know, it's fine. What were they supposed to ask Trump about Epstein, dude? That's going to make him mad. But then when Akaash didn't divorce his wife live on the app, people were like, you guys fucking suck ass, dude. You guys are fucking gaslighting us. Now, I can see and I can understand, I can empathize with why some people think that. Because a lot of people were really geared up about this, very pissed, because it looked like this situation where this horrible woman is taking brutal advantage of a poor, tiny virgin, previously virgin, Indian man. People were concerned. The optics, the horror. People wanted a resolution when they came to the pod. They wanted either him to come on and be like, yo, I don't like some of that shit. I don't like some of that shit. I got to reevaluate things. Or they wanted maybe her to come on and get like a hard grilling. That's what people wanted. But people have an unrealistic expectation of how important their collective voice is. And I know that concept alone is going to piss people off because we're like, nah, you don't know shit, dude. The internet fucking moves. The comment section moves. We change careers. You've seen what happened to Schaub. You've seen what happened to Kreischer. You've seen what happened to all this stuff. But what I'm trying to tell you, as someone who watches the same content, understands a lot of that, and shared some of the same feelings, is that it is possible that what you're seeing online is not the entire story. And when you're dealing with a group of human beings who know each other, who are actually a tribe, who work together, have known each other forever, have each other's best interests at heart, what they're trying to do in an episode like that is not gaslight you, is not let her off the hook, is not, let their friend be fucking embarrassed and just like try to make it 100% jokes. What they're trying to do is address it in the way that they know how, which is A, to be funny, and B, to try and show people a bit of the actual foundation of the real relationship that's there, that yes, looks very bad from a series of clips. I agree. I didn't like the clips, and to be honest, and I'm going to keep putting cards on the table, I had watched some of her content before all of this, and my first thought was, Jesus fucking Christ. To be fair. But I understood that to be the content someone was creating. It's really not the character of their content, folks, but the content of their character. That's what was trying to be shown today. Now, I knew the comments weren't going to like it because I was watching this podcast and I was like, they're not really hitting it in a hard enough way that's going to satisfy the masses. But a lot of the masses want the divorce of two people that they don't actually know at all outside of what they've heard on some podcasts. And folks, as someone who's doing a podcast right now, I can tell you this isn't exactly the experience you get when you're married to me. I don't think that's heartbreaking to understand or to know or to utilize. And what they were trying to do in the pod, and at times I thought successfully, especially near the end, was kind of showcase the reality of some of their relationship and explain how you get some of her content and maybe where she was misguided in how she portrayed some of it. And she gave an inch on it, but not as many inches as Akaash's friend. Folks, we need to do a couple jokes here. I'm just popping my pussy in some frat houses. So look, I get it. I understand why some people are not satisfied, but at the end of the day, those people aren't really people that have their best interests in mind. Some of those people are Akaash fans, but a lot of them are just fans of Flagrant. I don't think he's going to see a massive dent in his ticket sales because people are like, you're not who I thought you were. I think at the end of the day, it's just a really shitty situation that was brought about by some pretty shitty content that said some kind of shitty things. I don't think that's a full portrayal of a marriage, but, who is to really say? It's just one of those things where the internet is going to make up its mind about something, and by the way, it is going to use evidence to do so. I'm not saying people are crazy. It makes sense to me. Again, I watched the content, and I went, oh, that's really bad, and it's worse than I thought, and I already thought it was not ideal. But I don't actually think deep down that's the entirety of a couple people's marriage. How many of you have tried to sit behind a mic on a podcast or make a goddamn TikTok? Not saying it's the best look. I don't think it brings out the best in us, but I don't always think that it's showing the whole truth of a situation. And it's worth keeping in mind before you get personally invested in the dissolution of a marriage of two people you don't know. Is that fair, Joey Show listeners? I would say so. And that's not the only story of online drama this week. We're going to talk a little Lane Kiffin here. Lane Kiffin, of course, left Ole Miss for LSU. Now, some of you may not be college football fans. This is usually a politics-driven show. It's a comedy-driven show. Not everyone is locked into college ball, but this was a story that was so big, it completely permeated the airwaves of everything, and it's another kind of story where a person's past, a conglomeration of actions has led to a big, angry mob mentality story about an individual. Now, the question, is this fair? Is what we're going to get to. But we're going to give a little bit of backdrop and a little bit of juice and a little bit of intrigue, because the reason Lane Kiffin is interesting to this show is not because this is an X's and O's football show. It's because Lane Kiffin is a man who's been accused of shoving his dirty little pee-pee in places that don't belong all across the college football landscape. And I think we like the intersection of sports and sex, don't we? I really love sparkling water. Not an ad. So Lane Kiffin, he left Ole Miss for LSU. Now, top line of this right here, people were angry because of the timing. The way the college football playoff works is very unique in terms of sports, the way coaching works and recruiting works, because the recruiting calendar is early when you want to get people to your team. So if you want to coach a high-profile team, they want to hire you early. In the case of LSU down in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, they wanted to steal Lane Kiffin from Ole Miss out there in Oxford, Mississippi. Apparently, Oxford, Mississippi, is one of the best college towns, historic college towns, but as an SEC football program, had a little trouble getting over the hump. Until Lane got there, and his team best team in Ole Miss history, potentially, maybe officially competing for an SEC title, potentially definitely going to the college football playoff. This is his chance to put a stamp on history, finish what he started, but everyone knew he was going to LSU. Now, this is compounded by the fact that this man has done nothing but burn bridges. There was a quote that said, only Lane Kiffin is capable of burning a bridge while he's still standing on it. People think Lane Kiffin is a cunt. They think he's like my friend's wife, is what they think of both, by the way. Not what I think. I don't know Lane Kiffin, and you just heard what I had to say about the horrible online situation. One of those situations that just makes you wish you were on a Venezuelan boat getting blown up for no reason. We're going to talk about that later. It's so confusing. But anyway, here's the point. Lane Kiffin has a sordid and insane history. He once got fired by Al Davis when he was the NFL with a physical slideshow. Hilarious, amazing, awesome thing. The man has been everywhere. Tennessee, USC, Alabama. There were rumors he was sleeping with Nick Saban's daughter. Were those rumors true? Probably not. Why did they exist? Because he likes to stick his dirty little pee all over the place, which makes him a great story. There are stories of him, unsubstantiated stories that while he was at Georgia, he was hooking up with a reporter. These are rumors, folks. The rumors are the guy likes to fuck. The rumors are the guy is an offensive wonderkind. His father was a coordinator. He's a little prodigy. He goes places. The places get pretty good. The second they get really good, he leaves. An Ole Miss reporter came up and said, well, you can't turn a hoe into a housewife. And he's like, I'm going to fucking fight you. And he doesn't sound like that at all. So he is a messy little slut who loves drama. Okay? He goes to Ole Miss, and the narrative is like, he's changed. He's cleaned up. He has a better relationship with his ex-wife. He does hot yoga. He's lost weight. He's a great coach. He's bringing this team back. Has he found his home? Things start going well. Now, he's been all over the place. He came from FAU. That's what that stands for. He then gets so good that he gets an opportunity to coach at LSU. LSU is a big dog job down in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. It's a dream job. We'd all go. I'd go. You'd go. We'd go. It's one of those places you go. And then it's one of those places you get fired from. But you still go because it's exciting. Because it's in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And these days, because college football is a big, disgusting, messy hoe fest where you're throwing money at teenagers like you're Jeffrey fucking Epstein just to get them on a flight to your football island, LSU has a lot of resources. And Lane Kiffin is a perfect, messy little hoe-ass fit for the place. It's going to be a party down there. Pull your tits out and get some fucking beads. It's going to be a time. Lane Kiffin down in Louisiana. So it's exciting, okay? It's exciting, but people at Ole Miss are not pleased for a variety of reasons. One, things were going pretty damn well. You could be king here of one of the coolest college towns, Oxford, Mississippi. What a great place to be the king. And he's doing hot yoga. He's the first person in Mississippi history to do hot yoga. No one's ever done it. That's an accomplishment. He's doing hot yoga in Mississippi, and they want to keep him. But as that reporter said, you can't turn a hoe into a housewife, can you? So he leaves. And not only does he leaves like a twat. He is supposed to leave. You know, they want, can you tell us by now? We know you might leave. Can you tell us by this? He keeps pushing it out. They push it out to the Egg Bowl. This is what makes college sports great. All this drama, all this intrigue, millions of dollars, lives on the line, and everyone's like, can you wait till the Egg Bowl? Well, you got to tell us after the Egg Bowl. What are we going to do till after the Egg Bowl? Hilarious, objectively. Where's fucking Peter Cottontail, you idiots? With all due respect. So, he wins Egbo in Mississippi. But all the reports are like, he going to Louisiana. And so he does. And they ask him about it. And he's like, well, I'm just praying on it. I'm just praying on it. I'm just praying on it. Yeah, I'm sure you're praying on it, guy who likes to raw dog cheerleaders behind the dumpster. A lot of prayer. You praying with your dick, you dirty little guy. And it's okay. A lot of dirty guys are good ball coaches. That's okay. Go and do just find out. But he pushes it off. He pushes it off. He pushes it off. And the rumor, the thought is that he's pushing it off as far as he can because he wants to see if he can actually win an SEC title or do whatever. But everyone knows he's going to Louisiana. Reports were that he'd already bought a fucking house there. Like, everyone knew it was going to happen. And then finally it happens, and Ole Miss is like, you got to get the fuck out of here, out of Mississippi, going to Louisiana. And he's like, well, I want to stay in Mississippi and coach the guy before I go down to Louisiana. And so basically the whole fight, they're basically like, we're not going to let you stay here because you're just going to be recruiting players who can leave. You're going to be recruiting coaches who can leave. You're a fucking hoe. Get out of our house. And so he leaves, and he's like, well, fucking, if you want to coach at LSU, you better get on that goddamn plane with me down there to Louisiana. And, like, I didn't even know if they needed to take a plane. Couldn't you have taken a fan boat, you country little bumpkin? Country blumpkin. Maybe that's his nickname, you country little blumpkin. So the country blumpkin goes from Mississippi down to Louisiana, and he tried to take all the coaches on a fan boat with him. And they said, boy, if I don't got a goddamn po' boy down there for me to have down there in Louisiana, I might have to stay back here in Mississippi. This is the type of drama. This is high-stakes drama, the type of fucking shit that's going on out here. This is a problem, really, as far as I can tell. Anywho, basically everyone's upset about it and very mad. And the way that people deal with it, which is kind of funny, and given his track record, probably not true, but here's where it ties into the episode. It's kind of like how the internet decides a narrative and then, holy fuck, you might get stuck to it. You rise for a bit, you rise, but then, they want you to fly close to the sun and bring you down. All these text messages come out about Lane getting with college-age girls, breaking up, boyfriends, girlfriends, all this. He's doing this, he's doing that. Now, I've seen these articles. Not a one of them has showed up in a substantiated, reputable news network. A lot of these are probably very fucking technically savvy, very angry, Gen Z kids at Ole Miss going fucking 6'7", and then like AIing some shit or fucking having their friend change their Snapchat to like Coach Lane or whatever the fuck I haven't seen anyone like actually pick this up. But it dovetails back into a long, old story in Joey Show podcast history that we covered way back in the day, which was the Mary-Kate Cornett tale, because someone went and said that Mary-Kate Cornett had hooked up with Lane Kiffin. Who is that person? I will tell you. It is the person that we covered that was caught up in some messy drama that escaped out of like one of these, shitty Ole Miss SEC college blogs, and then went everywhere about this girl fucking her boyfriend's dad, but it ended up not being true, and it ended up just getting elevated by all these platforms, including Barstool, and just ruined this girl's life, and it was a totally unsubstantiated rumor, and it was a funny unsubstantiated rumor to turn back up in this whirlwind of unsubstantiated rumors where everyone online just wants to play games with his name because he left me here for Louis. So is Lane Kiffin the type of person that can turn around an internet image? Well, it doesn't really matter, does it? Because it doesn't care. All he cares about now is doing well in Louisiana. Chris Fowler, a college football broadcasting legend, made this point on his very own Instagram where he was like, when you coach at LSU, it's a big deal. It's very fun. It's always big. It's always crazy. It's a good fit for Lane, and eventually you will get fired. Because that's what happens at LSU. You get fired. No matter who you are. It's part of the deal. It's part of the thing. And the way Lane leaves things, and the way LSU leaves things, the breakup will be messy. But when you're a good football coach, when you develop a very specific certain talent, eventually whatever the dominant narrative is, isn't going to really matter. And this is what dovetails back into this kind of whole story about like internet rumors, internet drama, all of it taking off. You know, on the one hand, I'm kind of split on the concept because I think what it encourages, in a lot of ways, is good behavior. There's an all-seeing eye, an eye of fucking Sauron. I don't even know if that makes sense thematically. There's basically like a fucking shitty, gossipy hell god staring at you all the time the second you're in the public eye that's like, enjoy your success. The second you're good, we're going to fucking tear you down for clicks and money and joy. Well, that's kind of scary. But on the other hand, sometimes what is encouraged and what is asked for, sure, you could say it's being boring, being sterile, being spotless, or otherwise you could say it's being consistent, being good, treating people well as much as you can, and not having enough of a certain situation in your past that allows people to build a narrative. So sometimes I find that to be a good thing. I feel like the fear of it pushes you in a good direction. It's like a digital stand-in for an omnipotent being, for kind of a vengeful, horrible, terrifying God. The only thing that can beat it are pleasing it by being almost perfect in its eyes or having an undeniable skill set that allows you to beat it outside of it. Well, Lane Kiffin has that. He's a good ball coach, and he's going to do it down in Louisiana. A lot of people aren't going to like him, but I don't think he really gives a fuck. If you're a podcaster, if you're a comedian, if you're married to one and trying to do one of those things, well, I think it kind of comes down to a similar thing. The eyes have been shined upon you. You've gotten a lot of heat. Heat, of course, hot, negative commentary, but also eyeballs, notoriety, become a thing. Kind of an opportunity. If you have talent and you want to live and dance in this dangerous little space, then when the eyes are on you, if you can perform, if you can put out good stuff, well, maybe, just maybe, it can benefit you in the end. I'm not making a comparison between this person and anyone else we've discussed. I want to make that very clear. But Shane Gillis is kind of the marquee example of what can happen when the world turns on you in a certain time, in a certain way, and you have a certain talent. His position is very unique. A lot of comedians try to replicate other comedian successes. And people go, what type of career do you want to have? You want to have a this? You want to have a that? You want to do like acting, podcasting, stand-up? You want to do this? What do you want to do? How do you want to do it? Whose career do you want? And every time I've been around someone who's like, I want Shane's career, I said, well, good fucking luck, you chink. You'd have to know Shane's story for that to be funny, but you get what I'm saying. The chances that you're going to get canceled from SNL and then be so generationally good at comedy and also hit culture at the exact right moment when people decided to turn on cancel culture, and also while Joe Rogan's podcast was big enough that it was the type of platform and had enough esteem and good feeling about it that it was the type of platform that you could go on and then it could change your career, and then you backed it up by dropping one of the best comedy specials of the best decade. Well, I wish you luck at it then. Good luck. So I'm not comparing him to anyone else, but it still proves the point of what can happen. Can you change the internet's mind is kind of the question that I wanted to ask. And the answer, I think, is not quickly. Not quickly, but the internet will change its mind eventually and when it feels like it. And for my friends writing it out, I wish you luck. And to Lane Kiffin, enjoy Louis. I want to tell you guys about a cool experience that I got to have over the weekend. I got to be an NHL player for the weekend. Yeah, that was pretty fucking sick. I had a cool experience where I got to go on a jet with an NHL team, boarded it, dressed to the nines, roller skate bolo tie in a suit, professional photographer, fucking on the team bus, onto the tarmac, into the private jet, chartered flight. Just looks like a Delta jet, but you go in, you see a Mighty Ducks logo. Yes, disclaimer, ladies and gentlemen, I'm a Sharks fan. I always will be. Grew up with it. It's teal in my blood. If you want me on your team for the weekend, I'm in. So it was Go Ducks for a weekend, and that's fine. And they were lovely, and I really enjoyed them, the org. So, but go Sharks. So I get on you get on the plane, you see a fucking Ducks logo, okay? You walk, and then the first thing you see is like it's all first-class seats, but some of them are facing each other. Some of the boys have card tables. And then we're last ones on the plane, so we walk by. Yeah, sup, boys? All right, sup there, buddy. All right, grind it out there. All right, fuck face. All right there, buddy. Really less of that, but just a bit, just a hello. You get on, it's a whole plane of first-class seats, not lay flats. Saw some of those in the NFL, but it just kind of depends. But first-class seats, nice, plush, big loungers. Boys playing cards up front. We're back there with the press. We're chopping it up with the broadcast boys. Lovely time. Food was insane. You get on, they have breakfast sandwiches, breakfast burritos waiting to go. They come up, what can we offer you for breakfast? I'm sorry, what? I just ate it. Well, if you'd like, we have a breakfast bowl. We have actually, if you want to go healthy, we have an egg white and chicken and broccoli out. Okay, cool. Then come back later. We also have salads ready now. Do you want a Cobb salad? Hey, bitch, I've eaten more than I'm going to eat in the last 2 days. What do you think? Yes, I'll have a Cobb salad. And I'll have a green drink. Come on. $25 for Wi-Fi? What are we doing? Oh, by the way, there was another meal. Do you want a steak sandwich? I think I'm fine, thank you. We fly through a blizzard to. We were supposed to go to Midway, had to get routed. We went to O'Hare. Buses waiting for us. Deboard the bus. All right, how's it going, boys? Snap some pictures. Load up on the fucking buses. Stay nice downtown. Four Seasons. Yeah. The Fine Ducks people take us out to a dinner. Team's locked in, dude. I don't know what the fuck they do. I think they just watch D3 over and over again. Fucking Ducks fly together. They have IVs and drink protein. I don't really know what they did, but we went to Gibson's Steakhouse. We ate steak. We drank a million Manhattans. We went to a bar. We had Guinnesses. We had shots. It was nice. And when I say we, I mean, me and the boys. Brought the boys. Okay? The Ducks people were very professional. It was so much fun. Then they bring us to the game. They got custom jerseys, name on the back. We ride a bus into the bowels of the United Center, doing what, if you remember him, Michael fucking Jordan did. Walked under there, okay, went up, spent some time at a club level, watched the game. Super exciting game. Ducks scored 2 goals in the first 45 seconds. We get to see Bedard score some goals on the Blackhawks. I know we're getting deep into hockey stuff. Some people are into it, some people aren't. The point is, it was an awesome experience. Game puck, commemorative puck, meet the captain of the team. Had a fucking hell of a time, boys. And you just gotta have those times. You just do. You gotta, when you have the opportunity to be in the NHL for a day, you do it. Why did I do that? Everyone is asking me that. Well, first of all, it's very disrespectful. I think you don't understand my star power, fucker. And then also, yeah, it wasn't just me. It was through Don't Tell Comedy, who's doing a festival down there at Visit Anaheim. So shout out to the Don't Tell Comedy people. Visit Anaheim, taking care of the boy. I'll make a little recap. You guys will see something on the feed. But it was just a really cool experience, and I'm hoping, we're going to do some more stuff with the Ducks, and I hope we can, use that to just catch the eye of the boys up north. Sharks, you want to offer me a little fucking travel with the team? I can reopen my NHL window. Wide open for you guys. But super cool. And for me, I think it was just awesome because, I've watched sports my whole life. So to get to see the behind the scenes, I've watched documentaries about this shit. I've watched the behind the scenes, NHL. When I was a kid, I would watch every NHL tape that came out and even started ordering chicken parm because the players we have a chicken parm before a game, back in the day that was carbs, protein, that's enough. I don't know what they allow them to eat anymore. The boys were eating though, I'll tell you that. But it was cool to have context for what it's like. Those guys are out on the way out. It's all fucking business. You get a win, you hop on the plane. I wasn't there. Maybe you have some beers. They didn't win that night. Probably didn't have beers. But they We're all business. And so to get to see from fucking bus to plane, landing in the snow, fucking game day energy, headed over there, snowy Chicago, and then watch him play. Just having the full context of like the life of a pro athlete is just so fun when you watch something trying to understand the behind the scenes. It's probably why people like podcasts about comedy or podcasts about comedians' wives. People want to know what's going on back there. Very cool experience. And then, flew to LA, had some fucking meetings. I got to, like, see, like, Netflix and, like, Sony, and, like, it was cool. The thing that I took from that, and I think this is, like, applicable whether or not you're in my field. And I guess it's kind of similar to the advice that I was giving at the end of the whole internet outrage fury cycle thing. I guess it's advice for I don't fucking know. I think it's all a metaphor for everything. It's just good advice generally. But whenever I feel out of sorts, out of center, like maybe out of my depth even, you got to come back to your basics. To who you are, to what you do. Now, that could be something that you're exceptionally talented at, or it could be a good side of you. The part of you that you're like, yeah, that's me. Maybe there was some behavior there that was not ideal, but like, I know me. Me is I show up for my family. Me is I walk my dog. Me is I need to go to the gym and walk my dog and do this, whatever it is. And it's not just chores, but it's like things that make you feel centered. I had a very fun, I had a crazy experience. I'm literally on a fucking NHL jet, but I'm a little, it was fun as hell. Slightly fish out of water. Really cool getting treated because I'm a comedian, but not my realm, It was just stepping into someone else's world. Cool. Going into, big meetings with, not big meetings, but going on to big campuses to have general meetings with big networks. Awesome, because I'm trying to get into some of that and really cool, and it's fun, but then you're like, ooh, did that that went well? Did that go well? You're thinking about it, you're kind of trying to figure it out. You're trying to grow, you're trying to push into something new. It's cool, but it can stress you out. And then I talk to people especially when I'm in LA and I'm talking to industry about this, industry about that, and everyone's giving you the gossip and the whatever and oh, this and that, and this isn't going well, and these people are freaking out and blah 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 about whatever the fuck it is. You start being like, oh, that feels ugh. And it's the same way with some of the topics that I covered. We're watching gossip about other people. We're like, yeah, I fucking need a shower. What am I actually paying attention to? And the thing that I've realized that makes me feel good a lot is getting back on stage and just doing a fucking hour that I felt good about. And being like, the new jokes are hitting, the crowd work hit, stand-up makes sense to me. That's what I fucking do. Everything feels better. And I've always known this about myself. I always have. Even when I was doing open mics, eating shit in front of bars of fucking 7, 8, 10 people. And I'm lucky that I have that. Not everyone has that. But you're going to, in your life, go through things that make you feel fucking overworked, overstretched, out of sorts, just kind of yucky. And I bet there's something that you can find that you're like, you know what, I do that. And I'm like, whew, okay, fuck. That made me feel a little bit better. So if you're feeling far from that today, it's right there. You can go back to it. And if you're freaking out because you're like, I don't know what that is, maybe I didn't describe it right. Or maybe you're thinking about it in too hard of a way, because I fucking bet you something's in there. Again, it might not be stand-up. It might be I like going on a bicycle. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but find your thing, ground yourself, feel good, be kind to people. It's all you can do. They may fucking come for you eventually. They may fucking Lane Kiffin your ass. They might do it. But you'll be fine because you listen to The Joey Show. Thank you guys very much for listening. Probably coming out a little late this week considering I'm wrapping up late night after a very busy week of being a fake NHL player and going to LA and coming to Portland and then coming to Seattle. And then maybe I go to a Bills game. Maybe I go to Buffalo at the end of the week. I don't fucking know. But Seattle, Thursday, December 4th, Beverly, Massachusetts, Batavia, Illinois, San Jose, California, Philadelphia, West Huntsville, Alabama, Nashville, Tennessee, Dallas, Texas, many more. JoeyAvery.com/live. 12's up, 12 for life. Spotify, Wrapped. Some of you had this as your top pod. You are the smartest and best people in the world. Everyone else is a collection of dolts, rubes, and fucking squares. And I wouldn't want to be any one of those three. Thank you guys very much. This has been The Joey Show. I'm Joey Avery. We'll see you next week. Au revoir. Good night.
Thank God I have a podcast.